Under the blistering sun of a dusty, nameless town somewhere in the American Southwest, an old bar creaked under the weight of legends. The locals knew something was brewing, not a bar fight, no. A reckoning. The air was thick with silence, interrupted only by the slow creak of a swinging saloon door. He walked in like a ghost, tall, lean, eyes scanning every inch of the room without turning his head. Jack Reacher. Ex-military police. Drifter. A man who preferred silence over speeches and used violence only when absolutely necessary. And when he did, it was precise, brutal, and effective. Reacher was a tactician in denim and boots, a quiet storm that always hit harder than anyone expected. But across the bar sat a mountain of a man. Bud Spencer. Former Olympian, Italian film legend, and larger-than-life brawler known for using his fists like anvils and his shoulders like wrecking balls. Where Reacher was a scalpel, Bud was a sledgehammer. Spencer's style wasn't about elegance. It was about force, presence, and a sense of humor that could disarm most foes before he even lifted a finger. And yet, here they were. No jokes. No smirks. Just two giants of their own worlds on a collision course. Jack Reacher is methodical. Every move is calculated, born from years of military experience and raw street survival. He sizes up a fight like a chess match. His strength lies in his ability to remain unreadable, calm under pressure, fast on his feet, and able to exploit any weakness with clinical efficiency. But Reacher isn't invincible. His code, that quiet moral compass, sometimes slows him down. He doesn't like to start a fight. He likes to end them. That gives aggressive brawlers an early edge, especially ones that don't fight fair. Bud Spencer, on the other hand, is pure brawn. His fighting style? Slapstick meets steamroller. He hits like thunder, throws punches with the weight of a truck, and has an iron chin that laughs off most strikes. He doesn't dodge, he absorbs. He doesn't analyze, he reacts. He's a man who brings a grin to a fist fight. But therein lies his weakness. His size can slow him, and his tendency to taunt or joke mid-fight might leave him open to a tactician like Reacher. Still, anyone who ever underestimated Bud Spencer quickly learned, never mistake humor for softness. His fights end with opponents crawling, often with cartoon birds spinning over their heads. The bar cleared out fast. Instinct told everyone this wasn't a good place to be. Reacher leaned against a table, eyes fixed. Bud rose slowly, cracking his knuckles like thunder rolling in the hills. "You one of those quiet types?" Bud asked, voice like gravel in a coffee grinder. The first punch came from Bud, a haymaker aimed like a freight train. Reacher ducked, slid left, and jabbed twice into Bud's ribs. Quick, clean shots. Bud grunted, impressed. "Not bad," he said, turning with surprising speed to deliver a backhand that sent Reacher stumbling into a chair. This wasn't going to be easy. Reacher adjusted. He began using his environment, snapping a broken chair leg for defense, ducking behind the bar, drawing Bud into tighter spaces where size became a liability. But Bud had stamina. And worse, he had fun. He started laughing as he swung, a slow booming chuckle that echoed louder than the punches. Reacher hit harder than most men Bud had fought, but Bud kept walking through the pain. "You punch like a soldier," Bud muttered between hits. "But you ain't never fought a bear before." Reacher knew he couldn't outmuscle him. He had to outthink him. Using feints and misdirection, Reacher began targeting Bud's legs. Low kicks to destabilize him, jabs behind the knee, strategic foot placement to make Bud trip over a broken table. And for a moment, it worked. Bud staggered. But then came the hammer. Bud, grinning like a schoolboy in a food fight, dropped a single blow straight down on Reacher's shoulder, a slap-punch hybrid that could have knocked a bull out cold. Reacher hit the floor hard. He tried to get up. Bud shook his head. "You're smart, soldier. But sometimes, it just takes a bigger hammer." Bud Spencer stood tall, bruised, sweating, but smiling. He reached down and helped Reacher to his feet. "You fight like a machine," Bud said. "But I fight like a man who's wrestled sharks and still made it to dinner." Reacher nodded, the ghost of a smirk crossing his face. "You win." Bud Spencer won because he was the immovable object that couldn't be outthought. Where Reacher played chess, Bud flipped the board. Reacher's strength was precision, but Spencer's raw resilience, sheer physical power, and unpredictable style overwhelmed the tactician. It wasn't a clean win. It wasn't easy, but it was definitive. In a world where strategy often outmatches strength, this was a rare moment where old-school muscle and heart beat out calculation. Bud Spencer, the gentle giant with fists of fury and a heart of gold, proved that sometimes sheer willpower and the joy of the fight are enough to win. And somewhere, in the quiet after the storm, Jack Reacher smiled. Because even he knew, some fights are meant to be lost. Especially when you're up against a legend.